Hey, Bill DeWeese here with Long Strange Journey, and this is just a touch base. I'm out here with the Maverick. It has been about 9 months since the makeover, and I wanted to report out on something that I think can be helpful to others. The first setting that I had here for about 3 years was the aluminum balls out mount. It has a plate underneath here, and it went to a single gimbal for my Lowrance unit. And like most people, I just went out and got 316 stainless fasteners so that I could connect this to the balls out mount and all would be good. Well, when I went to do this, the change up that I did here at the redesign is I fabricated a plate that's underneath here so that I could have two gimbals side by side and some more versatility with side scan and dual cartography and other things. So I have two 9-inch units side by side. And what I found was quite a mess. When I went to take off the original gimbal, it was a mess. Even though we are looking at 316 stainless, we are also looking at stainless and aluminum. I had a lot of corrosion. I had a bolt break off. I had to drill out that bolt. There was cancerous corrosion that was taking place underneath the original powder coating, or the coating I should say, from Lowrance. And so when I fabricated this additional bar that lets me have these two side by side, which I did from aircraft aluminum stock, so that these two things go side by side. I had the original gimbal, and I had obviously a second gimbal with the second unit. I had all of these stripped, blasted, and powder coated. But it's been 9 months since this was put together, and here I'm taking the gimbal off to do something else with it today, and you can see everything here is beautiful. There's no indication of corrosion. And let me tell you what I did. I switched out. I went to McMaster Carr because we know we want to avoid commingling different metals, and I went and got anodized aluminum fasteners, anodized aluminum cap head screws. I preferred the cap head, and then anodized aluminum washers, and then anodized aluminum nylocks. So all of this is aluminum. You can see here from the plastic. I've done some experimentation with different mechanisms to prevent this from getting scarred, which would prevent water from getting near the metal. But whether there was one or two of these using plastic Delrin fasteners or whether they were using the anodized fasteners, we have no damage. These came off as if I put them on yesterday, and they've been firmly fastened, untouched for 9 months. And then also you can see here, I'll get a nice close-up, there's zero thread corrosion, which is the problem that you'll see with your stainless steel. And I literally had to drill two of these out on the original balls out plate. I had to drill them out to be able to mount the balls out plate because of just the nature of the corrosion on the threads and the brittleness of 316 stainless. So McMaster Carr online was one source. There might be other sources. These were fairly inexpensive, and they're dirt cheap compared to the headache of coming back here a year later, 2 years later, and trying to do something with your mount that might be aluminum, and then you've mixed it with stainless. And going to the anodized aluminum fasteners, you can't torque them down, but you don't need a lot of torque to hold this on here. You really don't. I got 4 bolts. I don't need a lot of torque, so we're not going to gorilla these down. But they work really well, especially with a nylock or a lock washer. I prefer the nylock, but highly recommend switching to the anodized aluminum fasteners whenever you can when you're working with aluminum and keeping it all aluminum. In my example here, my experience now from doing this for about 9 to 10 months is I'm really, really pleased with it. Hopefully this helps others.